Hey, how's it going? Alex here from IdeaSpot, and in today's WordPress video, we're going to be looking at WordPress backup and migration plugins. So I've taken my top 5, and we're mostly going to be looking at the free version. We are going to take a little bit of a look at the paid versions of these plugins as well. So if that sounds interesting, keep watching. All right, the ones that we're going to be covering today are Updraft Plus, All-in-One Migration, Backup Guard, BackWPUp, and WP Vivid. Now, some of these do migration really well, some of them do backups really well, some of them do both really well. So let's get into some more details. Now, if you're interested in downloading any of these, I've got links down there in the description, and I've tried to organize discounts with all of these guys where possible, so definitely check those links out. But anyway, let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about backup versus migration. So backup, you're probably familiar with the concept. It's just a saved copy of the website where you can restore it back onto the same site. So you can save this locally or you can save it remotely like on Dropbox or Google Drive. And you can back up the entire site or just the database. Sometimes you just need to restore the database. So you'll need something that's capable of doing both there. Now migration is a little bit different. It's also a copy of the site, but you can transfer that copy wherever you want. So you can move it to a new hosting provider, you can put it onto a new domain name. It's useful when you're moving services, moving to an upgraded host, or maybe you've made a test website and you want to publish it onto the domain. So you'll want something that's capable of doing both, but let's get into those details now. So let's start with Updraft Plus. Updraft Plus is the most popular out of all 5 of these, and the reason for that is it has an incredibly generous free version. So the free version gives you offsite backup such as Dropbox or Google Drive, and it also integrates with easy updates, so it can do automatic backups every time you do an automatic update. So that really saves things. Sometimes updates can break or cause incompatibility, so just being able to roll back to before the update happened can save you a lot of headache. But the disadvantages are that the migration needs the pro version, and multi-site WordPress websites also need the pro version. But these aren't huge drawbacks for most people. The free version works really well. So let's have a little bit of a closer look at Updraft Plus. So here we are on the Updraft Plus homepage. Now you can see that you can get the free version or the premium version, and it's installed on over 2 million WordPress sites worldwide, including some of these very big organizations such as Microsoft, Cisco, even NASA, Princeton. It's really well trusted and well regarded by the WordPress community, obviously. So, and if we look at the pricing, it isn't particularly expensive. You can get the personal pro version for $70 and then $42 per year after that. So it's going to compare fairly favorably to these other plugins. So it's going to be pretty hard to beat Updraft Plus, but let's continue on and let's look at some of these other plugin options. The next one we're looking at is All-in-One Migration. Now this is the most reliable and simple migration plugin that you can get for free. So very easy, very reliable, and it works really well even on slow shared hosting. So I've had to back up and transfer some pretty big WordPress websites. I think I've done like 10 gigabytes on a really slow shared host, and this all-in-one migration actually did it okay. The disadvantages are on the free version. The size is limited. You can only do a 500 megabyte website. Now that is actually pretty okay for most WordPress websites, honestly. I've only hit that limit a few times and where I've needed to use the unlimited extension. And the disadvantages is it's really just a migration plugin. It's not really designed to do automatic backups. So it doesn't have scheduling. And if you wanted to use this on a multi-site WordPress, the multi-site extension is quite expensive. So let's have a look at that. So here we've got the unlimited extension that lets you do sites bigger than 500 meg, and it's $69, and that is a lifetime license. So that's really cool. These days, heaps of software requires you to pay annually, but this is like a one-off fee. And if we were to look at some of the other products they do, such as the multi-site extension, you'll see that this is kind of expensive, but again, it's a one-off fee. So if you have a big multi-site network, that could be totally worth it. So I think it's quite good. It's not the best backup plugin because it doesn't have that many features, but it certainly is the easiest migration plugin that I've used. So I can definitely recommend it for migration. I've used it heaps of times and it's been very, very simple, very reliable. Next up, we've got Backup Guard. So Backup Guard has a pretty nice free version as well, and it's quite lightweight. I really quite enjoyed using this one. And it's got scheduling in the free version, and it's got offsite backups in the free version, but only through Dropbox. So the pro version will give you lots more options for your offsite backups, but I think for Dropbox, the free version of Dropbox is pretty good anyway. So I just used Dropbox, and I thought it was quite good. And the nice thing was, because I needed something, there was a case where I needed a multi-site compatible backup thing for free, and this was the best one I found in that situation. So it was pretty cool in that case where you needed a multi-site free version that can do all these things. So that was nice. And the pro version is also quite cheap as well. It's a little bit cheaper than Updraft. The disadvantages are that migration, you need the pro version, and as I said before, other cloud options, you need the gold version. So let's actually have a look at the pricing for a second. So you can get that silver version for $25 that will let you do migration, and then the gold version will let you do migration, plus it has a lot of other offsite cloud options. So silver or gold, they're still pretty cheap. They're still cheaper than Updraft. It just doesn't have quite the same full feature set, so it's not going to attract the same massive big clients like Microsoft and the NBA and Princeton like Updraft has, but it's still a pretty nice option. If you're looking to save a few dollars, maybe look at Backup Guard, but otherwise I think Updraft has a little bit more to it than Backup Guard. Next up, we got BackWPUp. So the advantage with BackWPUp is it's very simple, it's very lightweight, it's very popular still, it's been around for ages, so it's very reliable, secure, stable. The disadvantage I found was that you can back up, but you can't restore anything in the free version. You need to actually buy the paid version before you can restore your website. So I thought that was a little bit stingy compared to the other ones, but let's actually have a look at the pricing for BackWPUp. So it is more expensive than the other options that we've looked at. It's starting from $69 and their bestseller is $119. But the reason for that is it does have some pretty good enterprise features. So it has a lot of really good, reliable offsite backup options, and it's been around for such a long time. A lot of people really trust it and they want to stick with BackWPUp. But if you're just a hobbyist or you're on a budget and you need something free or you need features for cheap, this probably isn't the way to go. This is more of an enterprise solution. So I mean, if that's what you're into, then this is a good option. But I think we've got one more to look at. That's WP Vivid. So let's keep going. So WP Vivid has an amazing free version. This was the only one that could do migration with unlimited size websites, and it can do backups as well. It can do cloud options like Dropbox straight out of the box in the free version. I mean, there was almost very little reason to ever even go for the pro version. I think the free version, the only thing that it lacks is like the multi-site maybe, and maybe incremental backups, but the disadvantages was that it was definitely slower than some of these other plugins, and on slow shared hosting, it could be a little bit unreliable. So these are the downsides, but I definitely would keep looking at WP Vivid. It's fairly new, and as they develop it, I think if they can get the reliability to be a bit better, then this could really take over, I think. So WP Vivid, very good. Give it a try if you need something that's free and that can do everything. If you can get it to work for you, then this is going to be awesome. So definitely check out WP Vivid. Now, looking at the pricing for WP Vivid, obviously the free one is the best value because you get almost everything in the free version. There are a few little add-ons that you get with the basic and the freelancer version, so that can be worth it. And it is just a one-time fee. So again, if you're on a tight budget and you want to keep costs down, then paying a one-time fee is really cool. So WP Vivid, like I said, I did have a bit of trouble with slowdowns and timeouts if the server is slow, but if the server is a good quality server, this is going to work really well. So definitely test this out. You might be able to get away with using a free version on your website, and if a free version works, then you've saved a lot. So definitely check that out for sure. So let's sum this up with some conclusions. I definitely think Updraft Plus is probably the pick of the bunch for backups. Free or paid, the free version was awesome. I think it did most things that I'd need it to do. If you wanted the pro version, you could cover your migrations as well. So Updraft Plus, really cool. I think if I was a business and I had to buy a pro version, I'd be recommending this one. And for migrations, I really loved All-in-One Migration. Free version can do 500 megabytes. If I was a freelancer, like developing websites, and I wanted to move websites around a lot, I'd definitely look at that unlimited extension. This has been for me the most reliable migration plugin and the quickest and simplest to use. So the best backup definitely Updraft. The best migration, definitely All-in-One Migration. Now, if I had to rank these other ones, I'd say these are equal 1 and 2 for backup and migration. Number 3 is probably Backup Guard, and BackWPUp is going to have some niche scenarios where you may need it, where you need to back up onto a very specific cloud storage solution. So this has those really advanced options, but if you don't need it, you don't need it. And I'd look out for WP because this one has an amazing free version, and as they develop it, get it to be a bit more reliable, I think this could be probably the pick of the bunch. But at the moment, these two are the ones I'd go for. That's what I'd recommend. So hope that's been helpful. Hit like if you like the video, and subscribe as well, because I'm going to come back every single week with new WordPress tutorials and reviews. So definitely check that out. Love to have you back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.